Hi, and welcome to the demos for Workshop 2. I'm going to start with the instructions, which are included in this particular document that I have up. So the first thing you should do is go to the Canvas folder for Mplus Workshop Module 2 and download the zip folder, mplusworkshop2.zip, and place it in the proper folder, either in remote storage or on your hard drive, depending on whether or not you're going to use Mplus on the remote desktop or the demo version, and then extract the files. So give me a minute, I'm going to pause and I'm going to get that folder up and so I can demonstrate. All right, here we are. I am on Canvas and this is Module 2 and this is the workshop zip file for Mplus Workshop 2. So go ahead and click on that and it will download, and then you want to put that in the proper folder. I'm going to show you today most of my all of my demonstrations actually are going to use my installed version of Mplus rather than the remote desktop. But you can use this obviously either way. And if you're planning on using the remote desktop and you have a little trouble remembering how to use it, go back to that module in Canvas and you can watch the video and read through the instructions. I believe that is here in the first module, using the Mplus on the remote desktop, and then demo 1 as well. So hopefully that's going to help you out. Oh, and here's the video for using Mplus on the remote desktop. All right, let's get started. So now I'm back at the Word document that is in Canvas, and so at this point in time you should have downloaded the files, and if you can look at this document as well as the document called Writing Syntax for Mplus and follow along with those, and that will take you through each of the demonstrations. And so the next step will be to open Mplus, which is here. Hold on a second and I'll line this. All right, I have opened up Mplus, and in Mplus I have the file called W2 Week 2 or Workshop 2 Demo 3. And that's what I have here. And I am going to also work with this file, which is called Workshop 2 Writing Syntax for Mplus. The top of this document contains a few reminders about working in Mplus, and then if you scroll down to the beginning of this table, that's where the directions start, and I'm going to go sequentially through each of the commands by showing it in the demo version. I'm sorry, using these demo input files. Now, speaking of demo, it has a different meaning, but here, let me show you this. This is, of course, statmodel.com. And here is the place where you can download the demo version. And here it describes that you can use the demo version for pretty much all of the types of models that we're going to be going through in the workshop. And the only thing is there's a few models, I think, for example, the exploratory factor analysis that we're going to be doing today that has too many variables, so it won't run. But pretty much everything else that you would want to run will run with the demo version. Unless, like I said, occasionally we have too many variables. So either way, you can hopefully use the remote desktop and that'll work just fine for you. All right, so let's get going. I have opened up W2 Demo 3, and I am going to not show the writing syntax file that's here, but I'm actually going to put that on my other screen. And unfortunately, I can't have two screens on the screencast at the same time, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so let's get started with talking about the title command. So the title command is optional, and there are no subcommands for it. And so you can always, you can put just whatever you want up there to describe the syntax that you're creating. And you don't have to use any punctuation either, any particular type of formatting. Mplus will kind of ignore that until you start a command such as the data command. So here's your example of that. All right, so not much more to talk about there. Let's talk about the data command. So the data command is used to provide information about the data that you're going to be analyzing with Mplus. And it says where the data is located, and it provides also some subcommands, and it also, you have to say what type of data you're going to be using. So let's go through each of the options. The first one is just to use kft.dat, and actually I'm going to come down here. I can see that I don't have these commented out. I want to actually uncomment out this one, so I'm going to use kft.dat. And if I have that statement, then Mplus will assume that the file is included in exactly the same folder as your INP file. So when I do that, I can save it and hit run, and it runs. All right, so then I am using the basic command. I think I mentioned that last time we were together, and it just provides the sample statistics, and that's all that particular command, analysis command will do. And just, I'm going to go really quickly and show you my folder. I'll get it over to you just a second. Let me get it. Okay, so there it is. And I just ran demo 3. So now I have an input and an output file from that, and it creates both of them. All right. And just to be thorough, I'm also going to show you that the kft.dat file is there, and that's what it looks like. Okay, all done with that. All right, so next option is option 2. So I'm going to put a comment, exclamation point to call that line a comment. Now I could use the full path information if I wanted to. So this is in the case where you want to put your data in one location and you leave it there and you don't use it. You're maybe going to be running lots of different types of models all off the same data. And that works really well. I'm not going to run that here. You can try that on your own. The next option is to use a CSV file. And I also put here format equals free. Now format equals free tells Mplus that there are delimiters, and as they read it, as they see it, they can believe it. So like that is what it means. It is what it is. If it looks like a decimal 3.2, then that's what it is, and Mplus will make those determinations. However, it used to be the case that you had to use this formatting statement when you had a CSV file, and actually in more recent versions of Mplus, you no longer have to. So you could actually comment this out. Am I in the output? Oh, remember I do that all the time, so I don't really need to do that. I want to comment this and take the comments out of this one. So I'm going to take that out and save it. Nope. Save it and run it, and see, I didn't even need to say that it was free format. So it will just assume that is the default value. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and comment that out. And in option 4, you can provide formatting statements. So this is a Fortran formatting statements. It says that there are 6 variables, and all of them are going to have floating formats, which are 6.0, which means there are up to 6 digits, of which 0 are after the decimal, and which means that they're all integers. And just I'm going to take a look real quick at the CSV file, and just that's what they look like. Yes, they're integers. There are no decimals. Okay, so I could use that as well. Let me go ahead and delete the comments. Oops. Delete the comments there. And I'm doing it again. See, I do this every time. How crazy is that? So here we go. Let me try this again. And I'm going to put the comment there, take it away from here. So I can provide a format. And the reason for doing that, you don't have to do that. I almost never do, but if you have data sets that are stored somewhere where you actually can't take a look at them and you have to take someone's format statement, someone will maybe provide you with the formatting, and then you can provide that in your statement for Mplus. So there we go, and it's read it just fine again. Okay, so it's all going well. Everything's good. Let's keep going. All right, so now the last option here, it's that Mplus can be used to read summarized data instead of individual data. Individual data is what we just looked at, where you have one row refers to one observation, and so you have the observations organized in rows and variables organized in columns. But for many of the types of models, especially variance covariance models, such as structural equation modeling and mixture modeling and latent class analysis and many other types, you don't need individual data, you just need the summarized data. Let me show you what that looks like. That actually looks like this. Those are the means and the covariances. Oh, actually, these are the correlations. And so those are the means. The first line is the means. The second row is the standard deviations. And this is a correlation matrix. Okay, let me move that out. In this particular model, we have to tell it what the data file's name is, what type of data it is, and then how many observations are in it. So then I could, and I did it again every single time. Sorry about that. So let me go ahead and comment out that and take the comments out of here. And save it and run it. Like that. I wonder what I did wrong. Summary data may not be used in type equals basic. They're very good. So I need to actually comment that out. So I'll go back to my input file. I cannot use it with type equals basic. So I have to do that. And, but I do want to run this to get the sample statistics. So now that I've done that, I should be all right. Nope, still doesn't like it. Now what do I do? Ah, I see. I left the define command in there. Well, I can't do that with summary data. So let me go back to my INP file. I haven't even talked about define yet, but I definitely for sure take that out of there. Okay, oops. All right, let me try this one more time. There we go. Now it ran. Now we're good. All right, one more thing I want to mention on the data step is that you can use the listwise option to revise the way Mplus considers missing values. You use listwise equals on. Remember, that's a good way to compare your data to what you see out of SPSS if you're using a command that includes listwise deletion. So we always want to make sure that we're checking our data to make sure that what Mplus is reading in is what you have from another source. All right, so that's all I have for you on the data step. And I'm going to end this now and do the rest in a different video.